Figure it out.
Hello, this is Adam Koralik from Figured Out Productions. The following video is a video of some kind, and I hope you enjoy it.
Hey guys, it's Adam here, and today we're going to be talking about this. This is a brand new Sega Dreamcast game called Armed 7. Now, I've previously shown this in a different video, an episode of Playload, I think it was, along with a few other new Dreamcast games that I'm going to be doing videos on. I've done some videos on other Dreamcast games as of late. It's been kind of crazy. A lot of Dreamcast content. It's awesome, especially here at the 20th anniversary, which is right around the corner at the time I make this. So this one, as most games are these days, is published by a group known as JoshProd, specifically one guy named Phil and his team. Now, I hate saying this every time because I know there's always people who have seen these videos and that this is like old news to them, but there's always people, for every person you see in the comments who says like, you can stop saying that stuff, there's always a person in the comments who's like, whoa, I had no idea. So for those people, here we go. Yes, for those who don't know, the Sega Dreamcast still gets brand new games every once in a while, but they don't come from Sega or other big companies. They come from independent developers, such as JoshProd, as I mentioned before. Now, like I said, I've done a whole bunch of videos on this before and this whole idea, so I won't go into all the details this time. These games are not licensed or authorized by Sega, but Sega doesn't care. These things basically are made with an exploit known as MillCD, which the oversimplification is it's just a backdoor way into the console to put data on a disc and have the console recognize it. In other words, you can use it to make your own games. So that's what happens. And the evolution of the scene has been very nice. You know, it started off with a lot of people just making burned content. You know, like they would just develop their own little thing, tinker with it, throw it on a CDR and try it out. Now it's evolved into people being able to publish games on discs in factories, which technically has been around since 2003, but it's now becoming more and more regular to see it happen, which is very cool. So yeah, this was not some guy who just did this on his computer and printed it off. Like, this is made in a factory, full artwork, full manual, full print press disc and all that stuff, and it's region free as well. VGA support, all sorts of cool stuff. So what's the story with this specific game? Let's go into that. Now, what JoshProd typically does is exactly what he did in this case, which is he tried this game out somewhere, liked it, and decided, it came out on PC years ago, and he decided he wanted to put it on the Dreamcast. I talked to him about this, and he said, he basically just got a hold of the developer and said, like, I want to put it on Dreamcast, let me do it. And so he hired their team to go ahead and port it, but he also made various enhancements, which they got consent to do from the team. So he said they did some various graphical enhancements. They also did music. A lot of new music and a lot of new artwork and stuff was all done by the JoshProd team, specifically for the Dreamcast release. So I give JoshProd credit as a team for still being so interested in the Dreamcast. I think that's just amazing. But yeah, here it is. So let's take a look at it. We'll open it up and I'll show you guys all the stuff that pertains to it. Let's rip it open here. Okay. It's a nice cellophane wrap. Oh, and I didn't mention it before. If you're interested in this or any of the other releases, I want to thank Videogames New York. They're the guys who distribute these. You can buy it there. I'll put the link to their website in the description. That's also Videogames New York who hooked me up with this review copy. So thanks to them for doing that. For the purposes of review, this was free. I fully acknowledge that. And thank you to them for doing that. Like I said, if you want to check it out, link in the description. But let's take a look at the front here. So nice artwork and stuff. Inside you have, as per usual in JoshProd style, you have these dual language reversible artwork, which I always appreciate. And the idea is one side is the American side and the other side is the Japanese side. That way it can fit into whichever the collection you like. I'm sure I hear PAL users being like, what about me? There are PAL variants of these things. I actually don't have any of them, but the PAL variants do exist and you can get them throughout parts of Europe. When I say PAL, I mean cosmetically. Technologically, it's not PAL. It just looks like a PAL version of a game. They're all exactly the same. It's just down to which artwork do you like the best. So the manual is English. It's very basic. It's, you know, this game's a shoot 'em up, in case I did not mention it, and so now I am. It's a shoot 'em up, and it's actually the first shoot 'em up we've seen on the Dreamcast in quite some time, which is kind of neat because for a long time there, that's all you got, and then it was such a burned out genre that we really haven't seen one in a long time. So I think Armed 7 is the first one we've seen since Dux or Redux, or yeah, it was probably Redux, or one of those versions of Redux. So it has been quite some time, actually. So that's kind of neat. And then inside there's just artwork for other games and so on and so forth. I typically keep these in the American style. And then here, of course, we have the disc art, which looks actually really badass. And again, press disc. Same artwork behind it. And behind that, we have the back, which just has information about the game, which says, discover 7 stages of mecha shooting action with customizable weapons. Gear up and fight. Choose your style with 4 difficulty levels, from easy to insane. Enlist the Armed 7 team, and as always, save the world.
All right, we are rolling here with some gameplay. But first things first, what I have to say, the obligatory thing. Can you guys please do me a favor and like, comment, and subscribe on this video? You guys know I hate it, but I hate having to say it. I really do. But it's just an unfortunate necessity these days. So if you guys could do me that solid, I really would appreciate it. So moving on, though, let's talk about the actual game. Now, the first thing you saw at the very beginning there was the word Armed 7. You saw it twice. As it turns out, that's actually because there's 2 versions of this game. Like, I knew that he had made a new version specifically for the Dreamcast, but what I didn't know is that they actually included the original version as a bonus. So you can actually play both versions on this release, which I think is a pretty nice value, especially because I don't recall it being advertised anywhere. So it's just kind of a nice little thing that they threw on there for you. Secondly, you'll notice that certain things, like I cut out some load time screens and stuff like that, just because they felt like, well, there's no reason for you guys to sit there and watch a black screen. So I cut through some stuff, but I left that opening cinematic in there so you guys could get a sense of it. And then, of course, obviously, check out some gameplay. So what I ended up doing was beating the first 2 levels of the game, and you guys can watch that. I did it on easy mode, because as much as I love shoot 'em ups, I'm not particularly good at them. So I was able to do it on easy mode at least. Maybe maybe if I practiced a lot, I could do it on harder modes. But the goal here was to show you a nice wide variety of gameplay. Now, the thing that I want to address here, of course, is, it's been a while since we had a shoot 'em up on the Dreamcast, because there was a time when every new independent Dreamcast game, and even legitimate games, like if you want to call them that, like the last batch of official releases, almost all of them were shoot 'em ups. It actually became kind of a joke. It was like, oh, it's a new Dreamcast game, I bet it's a shoot 'em up, and yes, it is. So much so that the market for it was like completely saturated, and like it was just, I remember they kind of died a hard death on the Dreamcast, and it's actually been a while since we've had one. Thanks to JoshProd, we actually got a wide variety of other random stuff, and then things even that he had nothing to do with, things like Pure Solar and other ones like that. They just kind of reinvigorated the independent scene with more variety. So it's funny though, because it has actually been quite some time since we actually had a new shoot 'em up, and I think this one's pretty good. I know we got re-releases of Ghostblade and stuff like that, but I think I could be wrong, but I think this is actually the first new one in quite some time. By the way, I just totally used the special move right there. You get some power-ups and you can use a special, and I waited, of course, for the ultimate boss to use it on. But yeah, so very cool. I actually really enjoyed this game. It was actually really refreshing to go back and play a new shoot 'em up on the Dreamcast, and one that, quite frankly, was pretty fun. I wasn't sitting there getting all stressed out about dying all the time. Now, granted, I was playing it on easy mode, but I don't know, man. I had a good time with this game. If you like shoot 'em ups at all, I think it is a pretty cool one to go ahead and check out for the Dreamcast. But yeah, that's obviously entirely up to you. I'll put a link in the description to Videogames New York again if you want to go ahead and check them out and pick up the game. And I'm going to check back with you guys at the end. So go ahead and enjoy this level without me bothering you. and I'm back. Look at that giant robot thing. Japanese games love that. It's actually really, it's really cool. It's totally insane. But before we go here, I just want to say thank you again to JoshProd for getting this done. Thanks to Videogames New York. Thank you guys. Could you please again like, comment, subscribe? Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all later.